Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your friendly neighborhood comic book geek, the KMN 1971, back on track with another comic book stack. I have about 37 books to show off this time around, consisting of some cool cover grabs of some of my favorite artists, some cheap 90s spec for a change, some run fillers, of course, some cool copper keys, minor, but still pretty cool, some usual suspects such as Star Wars and Conan that will surprise absolutely no one, and some Bronze Age deep tracks, which I'm really happy to have scratched off my Bronze Age list. So kicking it off this month, the only book that's semi-current off the rack, I think from like the end of last month, we have Dr. Aphra number 21, Lucasfilms Ltd variant, Book of Boba. Love it. Don't strictly a cover grab. I don't like the Dr. Aphra comic. It's sacrilegious, I know, for me to say I don't like a Star Wars comic, but unless she ties into a major storyline, Dr. Aphra just isn't for me. On to the back issues and the 90s spec. So, 2099 Unlimited, the first appearance of Hulk 2099 for like $2 or $3. Why not? Same goes with this. Doom 2099. Saw it bouncing around in a couple of YouTube videos. I'm like, yeah, I want that too. Why not? War Machine number 1. I've always been a big fan of anytime a character gets to headline their own solo title, so this falls under that category. While I'm not watching Miss Marvel, just not for me. I'm a 50-year-old guy, and I'm just not into watching, I don't know, something about a teenage girl, basically. And for the fact of the matter that it just looks like some unholy union of Nickelodeon, Disney, and the MCU. Just for me. That's just my take on it. But other than that, if you're enjoying it, I'm glad for you. So, Clandestine, actually, I think this is number 0. This is actually a preview of issue number 1. So, why not? Some run fillers. I have G.I. Joe, a real American hero, number 40. Number 41. And I was happy to get these two. Any issue after 100 is pretty cool with me. So, 103 and 104. Cool Snake Eyes cover. Unfortunately, though, I think that was the last of the G.I. Joe back issues of the stash that was at one of my local comic book shops. So, boo. Moving on, another run filler. Fantastic Four, number 339. And I just bought this strictly for my inner 12-year-old. I'm like, ooh, Thor versus the Gladiator? Yeah, I want to see that throwdown. And then imagine my surprise when I opened it up. I'm like, oh, this is also during the Walt Simonson run. Double bonus. So, very cool. Also, like me, some last issues. So, Robin, number 183, final issue. Stumble across this out in the wild for like $2 or $3. Doctor Strange, number 6. As we know, it's the first appearance of Mephisto. And I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I enjoyed Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Not counting Spider-Man No Way Home, which was a Sony Disney collaboration, but a strictly MCU Phase 4, I thought Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was easily the best movie out of Phase 4, and the best thing out of Phase 4. I think some people were disappointed because so much was given away in the trailer, and then you have the whole speculation demographic too, and I think people, when they speculate, and it doesn't live up to their own personal speculations, they kind of shit on the movie. So, I enjoyed it myself, and I watched it again too, so definitely enjoyed it. I have not seen Love and Thunder yet, but other than that, I'm pretty much caught up on the big screen superhero flicks. Doctor Strange, number 18. This is a sequel to another Doctor Strange story where he ended up wiping out the vampires, and this Doctor Strange story in this volume is about how the vampires came back into the MCU. Just an interesting story arc that I'm trying to piece together. New Guardians, number 2. Anytime I run into this book for like $1, $1.50, I always pick it up. It's the first appearance of Snowflake, the villain that is powered by the cocaine. Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 4. And this is the second appearance of John Constantine, and I'm just happy to have it. Love it. Any kind of... this is my all-time favorite superhero story, pretty much. So, nice. I do have a complete set, but I'll always pick up second copies when I can find them here and there of the key issues in the run. Another book I'm happy to pick up that I've been seeing bouncing around the YouTuberverse is Marvel Comics Presents number 18, and this is the first time that the She-Hulk broke the fourth wall. So I'm actually looking forward to the She-Hulk series coming up on Disney Plus. So I know a lot of people are crapping on the CGI. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, maybe it's because I came from the generation that remembers, Halle Berry's Catwoman movie and the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movies, and like even the Blade trilogy that is beloved today. The CGI in that, it did not age well. So I've seen a lot worse. All right, let's make some room. Some more of those cool coppers. Captain America number 305 doesn't really go for anything, but I want to say this is the first appearance of this version of the Captain Britain costume that we're all familiar with today. Before, he kind of had like that pandemic do-rag in front of his face, so I've always liked this costume. So cool, wanted to pick that up. Picked this up for like $1.50 a couple of months ago. Hercules number 1, second copy. First time Hercules headlined his own series. Like I said, I haven't seen Love and Thunder yet, but for some reason, something happened in that movie that made this book go from a $1 book to like a $10, $15 book. So, about time, too. Love that story. The Saga of Crystar, Crystal Warrior. Now, I never owned any of the Crystar toy line back in the day, but I kind of wanted to, but never ended up getting around to it. I also wanted this comic book back in the day, too. Totally forgot about it, and when I ran into it for like, I don't know what it was, between $3 and $5, picked it up, high grade copy, newsstand. Why the heck not? Also surprised to find another copy of this out there. Avengers number 269, Kang vs. Immortus. Probably see another spike again once the second season of Loki starts up. Also, second copy. This time it's a newsstand of Willow. I guess the new Willow series will make its debut on Disney Plus on November 30th. My birthday. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Get into some sweet cover grabs. We have Spider-Man, Sweet Charity, number 1, J. Scott Campbell cover. Love J. Scott Campbell covers, especially Spider-Man covers. Just don't like the J. Scott Campbell price that comes along with a lot of them. So when I run into a cheap one out there in the wild, I always snatch it. Speaking of J. Scott Campbell, probably the best illustrated issue of Thundercats I've ever seen. Thundercats number 0, cover and interiors by J. Scott Campbell. Just a sweet looking book through and through. We have a free comic book day, Star Wars. Obviously, it's the Adam Hughes cover that drew me in. So anytime I run into an Adam Hughes Star Wars cover, always pick it up, based just on principle. Make room for the last final batch. Some run fillers of Darth Vader Volume 2. Darth Vader number 12, number 20, and number 24. I still think I need like either between 8 and 10 issues to finish off that volume. But, oh man, I really regret not putting that on my pull list back in the day. That's like one of the toughest volumes of Darth Vader to put together, at least for me. Dr. Aphra number 7. This features the appearance of some obscure Star Wars character. I don't know, I forget. It's been so long. I picked that up probably about 4 months ago. Same time I picked this up. Dr. Aphra number 18 from her previous volume, and I just love that cover, and I'm not sure if this is the first time that these two meet, but I thought that was way cool, especially at cover price. Star Wars 3D number 1. I recommend this only for the very hardcore Star Wars collectors. I mean, the art is horrendous. I mean, look at the cover. You don't even have Leia on the cover, and I don't even know what's going on here. But the only reason I picked this up is I'm not sure if you can see it on the cover. Let me pull it in a little closer. But this is the 10th anniversary of Star Wars. So as a Star Wars fan, I had to have it. And yes, it did come with the 3D glasses. That way you can see the horrible artwork even better. I'm going to end it off with some Bronze Age. Conan the Barbarian, number 86. And number 89. And unfortunately, even my back issue stash of Conan the Barbarian filler issues is starting to dry up at my LCS. So, I don't know. Avengers, number 184. Beautiful George Perez cover. And this is an upgrade to my copy. And this features, this is the issue that features Falcon becoming an Avenger, which I think is important. First issue special number 9 featuring Dr. Fate. I believe this is the first time that Dr. Fate headlined the comic. And once again, kind of like that Fantastic Four issue, I was happy just to have this issue. And then when I opened it up and I realized, I'm like, oh wow, interiors by Walt Simonson. Cool. Marvel Chillers number 3, another deep track from the Bronze Age, featuring Tigra, the Werewoman. I want to say this is the first time that she headlined her own title. And I don't know, when I was reading the Avengers in the 80s as a tween or preteen, I always kind of had a crush for Tigra. I don't know why. But anyway, well, it could have been the bikini, I guess. So, and to finish it off, we have Amazing Adventures featuring the number 1 featuring the Inhumans and Black Widow. First time that the Inhumans had their own title. First time that Black Widow had her own title too, even though they were sharing it. And cool thing about Amazing Adventures, it's one of those titles, that Bronze Age titles, that's kind of like under the radar. But there are also tie-ins later on when Neil Adams jumps on the title to the Kree Skrull War, which I thought was pretty neat. So that's all I have for this month. I will be back next month with another comic book haul. Enjoy your weekend out there, people. Take it easy. See ya.